Lee Child has been hailed by the Los Angeles Times as the poster boy for American crime fiction, with more than 100 million copies of his novels in print worldwide, featuring his now iconic character, ex-Army cop and all-around tough guy, Jack Reacher. We can't wait to find out what is next in his latest thriller. It's called Personal, so please join me in welcoming Mr. Lee Child. Hello.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing well, I'm doing well. So I guess I'm not alone now that any Jack Reacher novel that I read, I'm going to be picturing Tom Cruise. And
yeah,
okay?
although, you know, it's either way is fine with me, but, you know, pay attention to the words. The book is the book, the movie is the movie. There's not necessarily an overlap. You know, the movie was a version or somebody's opinion. It doesn't have to change your view of the book.
That's interesting that you say that, because I've always been very curious about when novels are turned into movies. Do you have a lot of input and a lot of say when your novel is taken and turned into a screenplay?
It kind of depends, you know, legally, contractually, nobody gets any say because it just couldn't work that way. But the people that made the movie were Reacher fans, basically. They were doing it because they loved the books. And so, yeah, they involved me on an unofficial level all the time. You know, socially, as a part of a group of friends, I was there all the time. We had a really fun time doing it.
So tell us about this latest Jack Reacher novel. And you've done 19 in this series, is that right?
Yeah, this is the 19th, and it's called Personal because the story is kind of personal to Reacher, and it also starts out with a personal ad in the Army Times, which Reacher finds abandoned on the bus. And as you said, he's an ex-Army cop. He's still got a sort of sentimental interest in the Army, so he picks up the paper, leafs through it, and there's a personal ad asking him to call an old friend. So he does. He calls the old friend, and within seconds, he's right in the middle of an international manhunt for a sniper who's operating in Europe. Now, this guy can shoot unbelievable distances, and the world's intelligence communities figure there's only 4 people in the world unaccounted for that could have made that shot. And as it happens, Reacher knows one of them because he threw this guy in jail a long time ago, but the guy's now out and missing. So the theory is Reacher caught him once, can Reacher catch him again? That's how the book starts.
It's so interesting to me how you're able so quickly in your novels to get the action going. Is it difficult for you always to come up with a different plot and keep it as suspenseful as they need to be?
I wouldn't say difficult. I mean, it's challenging because there's loads of ideas. There's lots of things you could do, but you're very aware that you're writing it this year and it's going to be read next year. So you want something that is still going to feel good next year. And the main thing about Reacher is he has no job. You know, he's not a cop in L.A. He's not a private eye in Chicago.
He's kind
or
of
whatever.
a drifter, isn't he?
Yeah, total drifter. He can be anywhere and do anything. And he tries to stay out of trouble, of course, but trouble finds him once in a while. But it can be a different type of trouble. You know, this book, Personal, he goes to Paris, France. He goes to London, England, which is unusual for him. But I thought, well, let's, you know, shake it up a little bit. Let's give the old guys some glamour. So he's on planes this time instead of buses.
And we learn a little bit more about him personally every time, don't we? It kind of unravels a little bit more as you yourself continue to learn the character as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, nobody really tells you their whole life story in one go. It takes you years to find out about some people. And Reacher is like that. He's quite shy, he's quite quiet, and he's not going to give too much away. But in each book, there is some little thing that explains part of his background, explains part of who he is.
Now let's talk about you for a moment and how you decided to shift your career into becoming an author. Did you work in television?
I sure did. I worked in television on shows just like this one, and I had a really, really great time.
I'm so sorry for you. Now I understand why you're writing.
No, I loved it. I loved it. You know, I'm sure I'm like you. I mean, why are you doing this? Because you love the audience. You know, you want to entertain that audience. And that's all I ever wanted to do. And I was very happy until one day my boss said something to me that made it just impossible for me to continue. He said, "You're fired." It was as simple as that. It was a corporate restructuring. They were getting rid of a lot of people, and I was one of the people they got rid of. So then my question was, how do I stay in contact with the audience or with an audience, not in the job that I was trained for? And I thought I'll try it through books because it's really not that much different. A book like Personal is not that different from a great TV drama or a movie. It's all sort of the same ballpark, and people need the same kind of entertainment from it.
Well, I'll tell you, millions of people all over the world are so glad and grateful to that boss of yours who said you're fired. So I wonder if he's a fan. Do you still talk to him? Does he read your books?
No, all those people, all that management I put in the books as the bad guys, their names are all there.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Lee, for spending some time with us today. Sure appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, Lisa. Have a great day.
You too. And again, Lee Child's new book, his newest Jack Reacher novel, number 19, is called Personal, and you can get it wherever you buy your books. And we're back with more broadcast right after this.